We have a special episode of Pajamas for Seniors, our Acappella podcast. Today is North Texas Giving Day. We have two very special guests, Susan Burgos, who is the community liaison for Pajamas for Seniors, working very hard, and then Jeff Crilley with Real News PR, just here to work. We're all in pajamas, excited today about North Texas Giving Day and collecting pajamas and money for pajamas for our needy seniors.
We are, and I got to describe. So Susan is wearing lovely, like I think they're Bugs Bunny, like loafer, slippers, right? Mm-hmm. And I was surprised that you, Joe, Shrek. Is that a Shrek? Is that mine, Donald Duck, and
yeah.
But
we're in the spirit.
We are. We're in our pajamas, and preferably male pajamas, men's pajamas, because that is one of our biggest needs are for men. And so we're just here to talk about Pajamas for Seniors and why it's so important to give on North Texas Giving Day.
Well, can I just brag on you, Joe, because you got an amazing feature, I guess it was about a year ago, from Channel 8, and they just did this sweet piece about you, and we're going to roll that right now.
Beginning to look a lot like Christmas for senior citizens, thanks to the kindness of one woman in Dallas.
Sean Giggy has her story and today's Giggy Bites.
This summer, the weather outside has been so frightful that a fire is not delightful.
So that's good.
So who on earth would use a chimney this time of year?
Ho, ho, ho.
Better yet, why is Santa visiting senior citizens in July?
Merry July, everyone.
To understand that, we need to meet the woman who brought him here. Jo Alch is the founder of Acappella In-Home Care.
It's fun.
She started the company after working many years as a hospice nurse.
It's just fun.
It was during that time Jo noticed something upsetting about the people she cared for.
I saw that a lot of the patients, a good majority, had nothing. All they had was a hospital gown.
Jo says having nothing but the shirt on their back took a toll, and there was no way, in good conscience, she could do her job while neglecting her patients' emotional health. So she decided to do something.
But we want to sing a couple of Christmas carols.
5 years ago, Jo started a charity called Pajamas for Seniors. At first, her goal was to give out new pairs of pajamas every Christmas.
Hope you enjoy that.
But the program has been such a success, Santa and his helpers were forced to make a summer trip.
Merry July.
Jo says pajamas may seem trivial to us, but for people who have nothing, it is everything.
You a brand new nightgown.
For many of them, getting a pair of pajamas is quite literally like Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
Although, by no means were the residents the only ones changed.
Why does that affect you so much?
People just need that, and if we can share a little bit of a blessing with someone, if we can bless one person, it makes it all worth it.
These people have paved our streets. They taught us to read and write. They made a difference in our lives, so it's our turn to give back.
And no matter the time of year, these seniors will always welcome this kind of warmth.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry
Sean Giggy, Channel 8 News Daybreak.
You know, they do the giving trees during Christmas time for young children, but they also have them for senior citizens. And some of the items they're wanting are like socks or Gatorade. I mean, little simple things because they may not have the family to come check on them.
And I heard it there for the first time, them frame it in a way that was so unique to say they paved our roads, they taught our children, it's the least we can do to give back. And not to mention, wisdom of the ages, right? So much we can learn from them. If you know of someone giving back to their community, you can let us know about it. Email Sean directly. His email is giggybites@wfaa.com.
Wow, what an amazing story.
It
And
is.
it's
Just
interesting
sums it
that the anchor picked up on the same thing that touched me, Joe, was that, yeah, this is the greatest generation. I mean, these are the folks that went out there and really built the life that we enjoy and sometimes take for granted.
Well, and when you go to these little nursing homes or you meet with a patient, we do private duty and take care of patients in their homes, and they have a story to tell. We have one that was a pastor for years. His father was a pastor. He loves to study the Bible. I mean, he's got arthritis. That's all he can do is really listen to tapes. And but he loves learning the Bible. And it was just, we all have a purpose, and the purpose doesn't end just because we're getting older. So yeah, it's a neat program that we're doing.
I think it's wonderful. And Susan, you have some stories.
I do. There's been so many throughout the last year. I remember at Christmas time, we brought pajamas to a nursing home. It's very, low income level nursing facility. And everybody gathered around in the activities room. The residents that could came up, and we were going to give out pajamas. It was a special day for them. One of the employees had her mother living there. Her mother was 92 years old, and she saw that we were bringing in pajamas, and when she got her pajamas, she just was overwhelmed. And she, bless her heart, we had wrapped all the pajamas in Christmas ribbon, and she took her ribbon off and was looking at it and just playing with it. And a few days later, I spoke with the woman who worked there, and I said, "How's your mom doing? That was so sweet meeting her, and she was just adorable." And she said, "Susan, she will not take off those pajamas." She loved her pajamas so much. And then she wanted her daughter to put that ribbon in her hair every day. So, it's just, that was such a sweet, remembrance of what we did last Christmas. But we've been delivering pajamas all year round. We've had several really cute themed, pajama drives that we've hosted. There was Jammies for Grammys. That was in May for Mother's Day. And there was a senior at that pajama drive that when we brought the pajamas to their facility. There were all the ladies were so excited to get pajamas, but there was one lady in particular. She was really quiet. She kind of, she was sitting in her wheelchair. She wasn't really participating a lot. And, I went up to her and I said, "We've got a pair of pajamas for you." And I had a pair in my hand. We knew what size she needed. And she kind of shook her head, very shyly. And she was, and I said, "Are you sure? They're a gift. They're for you." She saw the price tag on it because it was a new pair. We didn't take off the tag. And she started tugging on the price tag, and she said no. And I said, "You don't have to pay for them. It's a gift." She thought she had to pay for them. And when I said, "No, it's a gift. They're free. They're for you," she started crying.
Wow.
Yeah.
And some, all they have to wear is a hospital gown. And who wants to have your visitors over, friends over, or a church member, and that's all you have to wear? So that's, every dollar that comes into Pajamas for Seniors goes to pajamas. And everybody thinks small, medium, large. But we have very large, when people are bedbound or wheelchair bound, they tend to gain weight. You're sedentary, you tend to gain weight. So we have requests for up to 6X, not only men, but women too. So getting those larger sizes, getting that money in for the larger sizes, and we will order those. They're harder to find. You can order them at Walmart, I think, online. And we'll list on our website too where you can purchase pajamas if that's what you prefer to do. But yeah, there's a big need for big size.
Joe, remind me of the details, but I remember you and I talking a while back, and there was a fire, and somebody had a whole bunch of pajamas. Tell me about that.
This was amazing. The storm that took place back in May, there was a woman who had a pajama company, and she would sell pajamas in Canton or at fairs, school fairs, and Susan had reached out to her a couple of years, and she'd been giving us a nice donation every year. But the storage facility she was using with her pajamas was destroyed by the storm. A tree fell and damaged the storage facility, and so she was going to have to move 17,000 pair of new pajamas. She was on the verge of retiring, kind of playing with, is it time to stop doing this? And so she thought, the best option, that was just her sign. You know what? It's time to close. I'm going to donate those pajamas. She called us, had several thousand pairs, brand new, and we have distributed all over North Texas, 16 counties in DFW. And Susan has been working so hard getting those pajamas out. And, we focus on seniors, but there are people coming out of prisons that don't have clothes. There are homeless shelters that don't have. And a lot of people like to donate their old stuff, but getting something new,
right?
Don't you feel so special when you get something new?
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially when you don't feel good.
Well, and that's how it all started for you, right, Joe? It was, getting something, special from your grandmother every Christmas.
My grandmother, we didn't have many toys growing up, but I always could count on my grandmother giving me a pajama, a nightgown on Christmas Eve. And I always looked forward to that nightgown, and I remember that more than I do any toy. I remember a bike one year, which I thought was the greatest, but I loved getting that special nightgown. I wore it all year until I grew out of it and got the next one. But that's what, as a hospice nurse many years ago, I noticed, goodness, people get out of the hospital and they're still wearing that hospital gown, and they don't have anything else. And look at these little patients, perhaps at Parkland, that go into the hospital. They're in for 10 days. Then they go to a rehab. But they live month to month and depend on that monthly paycheck, don't have a paycheck, or aren't able to keep up with their bills. They can't go home because now the electricity's been shut off. The water's been shut off. They've been evicted. So first, number one, where are their belongings? But number two, what are they going to wear? Some of them just have the shirt they went into the hospital with and their driver's license.
Wow.
It's really sad. And so it's such a little gift that gives so much.
And weren't you telling me that many of the residents don't get a lot of visitors, and so this is just the fact that somebody cares is a big deal?
It is, and the statistics are that 60% of nursing home residents do not get one visitor. Wow. In Dallas County alone, there are 16,000 residents of nursing homes and assisted livings. So think of over half don't have one visitor. And they are in every neighborhood. I know in our neighborhood we have a couple of Medicaid nursing homes just down the street. People love to get out and walk, go to the park, but who says, what, let's go make a difference at a nursing home and just sing, or let's go bring all the residents there some new socks. It's got to be on our radar that we've got to help our elders too.
But tell me how it's grown over the years. When you first started it?
Well, I first started it with my own hospice patients, and I had a roster of like 16 patients that I took care of. And so I'd give them pajamas every year. And then I started doing admissions with this hospice. And so I had a bigger clientele or group of patients that I would help. So I would just keep up with the people that were special to me. And if I knew, I could tell, they really were in need. And then with Acappella, I just decided, just with our own office, let's do something and adopt a couple of families and bring pajamas and some Christmas gifts and a meal. And then it just grew. I had other home care agencies and hospices that said, you know what, this is a great idea. Nobody's doing anything for seniors. So it just started vamping up. And before we knew it, last year we donated almost 4,000 pairs of pajamas. It was a lot of pajamas.
Amazing.
And, we get them in year round. I know last year, New Year's Eve, we had a big distribution over Christmas between November and December. But New Year's Eve last year, it was supposed to ice. And we had a lot left. We still had a lot coming in. So we donated on New Year's Eve. We did non-alcoholic champagne.
Right.
Had the New Year's celebration at 3:30 or 4 in the afternoon. And everybody had a warm pair of pajamas on a cold night. And it was great. And the families appreciate it. The families that don't, if you're spending $5,000 a month for your loved one, sometimes that is all you have. You don't have the money for the little extras like socks or pajamas.
If you guys ever decided to contact a pajama company and just find out what do they do with their, there's an error in the pattern and they can't sell it. I mean,
that's a great idea. We need to do that. And there's been people that have reached out to us after hearing that segment on the news, and just hopefully through some of our social media, they've in friends. But we've had a church group in Kentucky, a ladies' church group. They mailed us some pajamas. We've had a garden club in Arlington donate pajamas. We've had so many different businesses, Chamber of Commerce in Tarrant County. We've had even beauty salons have pajama drives for us. Voss Salon in Dallas was wonderful for doing that.
That was fun.
And, the more we can get the word out, I think the more this is going to catch on, and people will realize that the seniors that we're delivering pajamas to, they really are isolated. Like Joe said, if they have families, their families are working full time, and they really don't have, a lot of extra time to come and sit with a parent or, even a brother or sister who may be in a nursing home. And you'd be surprised in the nursing homes, the long-term nursing homes. At least I was surprised when I started helping out with this. There's adults in there that are closer to my age. They, it's not just you're thinking of a nursing home, people in their late 70s, 80s, 90s. There's people in there that have, just medical issues, whether they have a leg or two amputated.
Mental illness.
They don't have anywhere else to go, and they're in that nursing home for months and
sometimes
longer.
Indefinitely.
Yeah.
And one thing too, Jeff, that I noticed as when I did home health and hospice, on holidays, it's maybe a handful of family members and residents who get to leave for the day, but most are there by themselves, and the family has, the grandchildren. They don't want to be at a nursing home on a holiday. So usually those patients will get a visitor maybe the day before or a couple days after. So those holidays are really kind of a ghost town. Wow. They're short-staffed. It's very sad. So just as a community, just going and singing Christmas carols after you have breakfast and after you open your gifts, just takes a few minutes to give so much.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have such a strong contact with Santa, I think is actually really cool. He's, you've pulled some strings.
I know. Santa's great, and he loves to help. He loves pajamas. He's very into the cause.
That's so cool. Well, if people are touched by this and they want to take action, what do you need right now?
We need money to buy pajamas. We also need pajamas. We are growing, so we need to have. I really need a full-time staff person. That costs money. We've got a great board. Everybody's volunteer. We need volunteers. So somebody wants to help deliver pajamas, that would be wonderful. Or put together a drive in your business. I mean,
Right.
we would love that. In our building, we did a contest. We're in a 10-story building, and whoever collected the most pajamas, whatever business, got $100 in North Park Gold. And that was a huge hit for the building. It was fun. Everybody had a good time doing that. So just coming up with creative ways to get pajamas. We can get them out to the communities, but just one pair makes a difference. So no gift is too small. $10 pays for a man's pair of pajama pants. It
That's
doesn't
really cool.
cost a lot.
Seems like it would be a great for like a youth group from a church, or
Definitely.
even a company team building exercise to give back. And so many
Yeah.
millennials want to work for an employer who's giving back to the community, and this would be a great way to do it.
We have a school coming up in the fall that is doing, they always have a pajama day, every school year. And the kids, these are the younger kids in junior high. And so they look forward to, like us today, we get to put on some fun pajamas. So they've decided to tie that in to have donations brought along with being able to wear their pajamas that day, to bring a pair of pajamas. So that was a fabulous idea. And we have had other businesses in the area that have had employee pajama drives that have donated to us. And we're really hoping to get a lot of exposure with North Texas Giving Day. And, please look us up on Facebook. There's a lot of wonderful pictures of things that we've been doing throughout the year. But we're excited to be participating this year. It's our first time, and we know it's a wonderful organization, and they do so much for all the nonprofits in the North Texas area.
And I think taking a look at our Facebook page and seeing some of the
Yeah.
pictures of people holding their pajamas, how happy they are, it's just the sweetest thing. And they're so appreciative. It's just something so little makes such a big impact. And that's why we want to keep doing what we're doing.
And you have a website.
We do, pajamasforseniors.org. Any questions, call us. We'd love to get you involved. There's lots of opportunity to serve this year, and just not just at Christmas, but throughout the year. And we're just excited.
Well, this is such a wonderful show. You guys are awesome, and thank you for all the
you.
work you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, it seems like it's really a great way to serve.
It is. And thank you, Susan, so much. You do such an outstanding job. If you have questions for me or Susan, we're available. Just give us a call. And Jeff, thank you so much
I'm
for
honored.
being our guest today.
And thanks for the
And
PJs.
You're welcome. Yeah, they're actually going to go to someone in need.
Yes. Okay, I got to give them back. Don't I?
No, you do. You've got to return them. But anyway, just give today. It means so much, and it really does make a difference.